What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. As you can see, this is the last episode of F1 2021 career mode, and of course the last video I'll be making on this game. Now, it's no secret that the new game is releasing in less than a week, and well, new footage of the new game will be out in 4 days time. Now, I would have loved to have done this series in each single episode to finish it off, but I went to Las Vegas, about a week or so ago with McLaren, and you know what, since getting back I got COVID, and I really wanted to grind out this series and finish it off, but I just haven't been able to do that. I've been feeling very rough, and today I feel kind of normal, so hence why I'm finally getting this video out into the public realm. So how are we going to finish this season, you ask? We're going to have to do some simulated races. We are going to have to trust that the Codemasters gods are going to look after us, and we're going to simulate a few Grand Prix in this season. We're going to do a few races ourselves, but the first one is rather favorable for us. Daniel Ricciardo in the end gets himself a victory, a much needed victory, as he might well be in the championship hunt if these wins keep up. We're 20 points behind Max Verstappen. We were, how many points? 15 or so points behind him heading into this episode. So we've lost some points, but we gained the lead of the constructors. Once again, we need to start eking into that. So that first simulated race didn't go too badly. I'm going to do it one more time for Suzuka. Oh my god! No points! Are you serious, guys? And Max Verstappen, of course, gets the victory in the second simulated race. I thought this actually would have been okay because we, on paper, have the best car. And now we're 46 points behind Max Verstappen. Good. I mean, this is the only way. Guys, this is the only way we could get this season finished, as if we simulated some of these races. And looks like the championship is getting further and further into the mud. Only 2 points to salvage from 2 Grand Prix. That is a disaster. And Max Verstappen again gets another victory. Daniel Ricciardo gets P3, which is nice. But we can't be having this. We've got to make a stand, and make a stand we will at the Brazilian Grand Prix. I believe there's now 3 races to go in this championship. We have, no, there's 4 races to go. So we can make an impact, but we need to start winning races and hope that Max doesn't finish any. So here we go, learning our Brazilian GP setup. Are we going to make any changes? No, we're just going to head out straight away and do our one-shot qualifying lap. Now, I'm going to tell you guys I've made a crucial error. Because these cars are so upgraded, because the brakes are so potent, there's actually one crucial detail which I normally adjust in my setups in this part of the career mode series, and that is actually taking away some of the brake pressure, which stops lockups from happening. Now, it's not too bad on this one-shot quali lap, even though we're a mile off the pace, but it is going to affect our race pace, unfortunately. We end up in P16. The AI over 1 lap are just insane.
Tough luck there. It's not quite where we'd want to be on the grid, but chin up, it's not the end of the world.
Formula One returns to Sao Paulo once again with the stage set for what promises to be another classic Brazilian Grand Prix.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
So, our championship fight back starts here, and, well, we're defending our crown well, aren't we? Lowering the tyre pressures because tyre temps will be an issue at this racetrack. They normally are anyway, even when I make all of my necessary changes to mitigate the temp issues. It seems, well, it's definitely going to be a thing in Season 4 with a maxed out car, especially when we haven't adjusted the brake pressure. But away we go. Let's see how it handles over the course of this race. Lose a position or 2 heading into turn 1, down to 18th place. We retake a few of those spots back as we get up the inside of Sonoda there and go up in a P15, mount the curb. Thankfully, no floor damage done there. Oh, God. Still have COVID, of course. Lovely stuff. We're fighting our way back to health, fighting our way back to the front of the grid as much as we can. Lap 2 now, and you can see we are catching up to the next group of cars, but trying to make inroads on this next train is nigh on impossible because the top 5-6 teams are all maxed out as well. They all have the same pace, but I feel like there's something missing with our car. There's something that's different compared to some of the other teams, at least the way I'm driving. I'm not able to extract the same level of performance that the AI can through high-speed corners. It is absolutely ridiculous. And if you've been watching this series, you know this is no secret, but we're fighting with one arm tied behind our back in a way. We're doing our best job we can. Tires are starting to overheat a little bit. We're pushing on, trying very hard to stay with the pack ahead. Of course, we are on the medium compound tire, so there is going to be a natural pace disadvantage, but these guys are in a bit of a train and holding each other up, so we should be able to stay with these guys. I just need to get back within 1 second of DRS, but you can see the front right is in the mud, much like I've been this week. 110 degrees. That front right tire is definitely having a fever of sorts, and when the tires are overheating that much, there's nothing you can do. Just straight up understeer everywhere. So we got overtaken by Callum a lot. I didn't let him through. He just had the pace over us.
Okay, we can take you
So we had nothing to do. We couldn't do anything. We were just killing the tires. They had no pace. So my only solution was to box for a new set of tires and go on to hard compound tires and hope that the hardest compound could deal with the temp a little bit better. The harder step you go, the wider working range you have in theory, and the harder it is to overheat the tires. But even still, look at that on the hards, front right tire overheating.
Safety car is out.
But yeah, that was game over pretty much until the safety car came out late on in the race. We've already made our pit stop, so we've got nothing to lose at this point. So I'm deciding right at the end here to go onto a set of soft compound tires and absolutely charge my way through to the front of the grid. That safety car was timely because it put Ocon into the lead of the race. He hadn't stopped yet. This was his in-lap, and then the safety car came out, so he essentially got a free pit stop, and 4 or 5 others managed to jump Verstappen for the lead of the race, so that was very favourable for us. But now with 4 laps to go in this race, we need to overtake most of the field to gain some points on Max Verstappen here. So let's see if we can do just that as we go back underway for green flag running. 4 laps to the end of the Grand Prix, and Schumacher, out of nowhere, just dive-bombing everyone and clattering into the side of Callum Ilott. He might have given him damage, as well as himself a bit of front-wing damage as well for his trouble, but we gained so many positions in a turn 1, as did Schumacher, but it doesn't really mean much if you can't keep your front wing intact by the end of the corner. And up the inside we go on Callum Ilott, and as the classic AI turning in on you. It was late in the day, to be fair, but we are driving as if our championship depends on it, and it does. Because if we don't deliver in this race, that could well be championship over. We got very lucky with Verstappen not being in the lead of this race, but we can still get some points in this race, and the more points we get, the more leverage we have heading into the final 3 races. We've got to keep this championship alive after this race. We've just got to. You never know what might happen in the future. Verstappen might have 3 engine failures in a row. We just need to never give up as we go up the inside of Lance Stroll. And I think that was a bit of another dodgy dive bomb, to be fair. Bit of contact made, but we are clear to keep going as Marcus Armstrong retires from the Grand Prix. And crucially, that was someone behind Verstappen, so Verstappen doesn't gain a spot, but we do. Hamilton is next as we approach the penultimate lap of this race. Can we get up the inside into this double right hander? Oh my, is COVID affecting my ability to speak? No, because I always make these stupid mistakes. But I tell you what, I'm not all there yet, I don't think. It is very, very weird. Anyway, last lap of the Grand Prix. Pierre Gasly up next, and it looks like P7 is probably the best we can get unless there's a almighty crash on this last lap, or there's, you know, Timo Glock waiting for us at the penultimate corner. It doesn't look likely that we're going to get much out of this Grand Prix, unfortunately. The AI just so strong, and just lacking pace is the biggest issue, it seems, on this return to career mode. Once again, 109 degrees on the front right tire. We were fighting an uphill battle today with some errors in setup, it had to be said. But we get some points.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
It's some points. Is it enough to keep us alive in the championship? I hope so. But we'll assess the damage when we get back to the pit lane and see if this thing is still alive or not.
Another superb Brazilian Grand Prix comes to an end, and it's a thoroughly deserved victory. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
It was a question of right place, right time today. We were looking at an entirely different race before the safety car came out, but they were able to take full advantage after the field had been bunched up.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
Okay, good signs. We didn't see the championship win cutscene, so it is still alive, but I think maybe because of fastest lap points as well. We'll just confirm that in a second, but Ocon wins the race. That safety car saving our championship for one more race. We are 75 points behind with 78 points on offer left for the rest of the season. It's getting too close now.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that.
No.
You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you? Do you have any comments about... Thank you for your time.
So yeah, 78 points on offer, and we're 75 points behind. We need Max to DNF in every race, and we need to win every race and get a fastest lap to win this championship. Can it be done? Maybe, maybe not. But we've still got the constructors to fight for too. So let's do it for my home race.
Welcome to the Australian Grand Prix in Melbourne for what no doubt will be an intense day of racing. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position. And talented Spaniard Carlos Sainz completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Leclerc, Valtteri Bottas and Ocon, Benjamin, Hamilton.
Okay, I know it's your home Grand Prix, but treat it like any other race. Don't take unnecessary risks.
Mate, have you been watching this video so far, Jeff? Risks is what we need to take. Risks is what we're going to live by in this one. P7 on the grid, somehow. I did qualify P8. Someone got a grid penalty. Can confirm it was my one and only teammate. So that's constructors pretty much in the mud. 5 red lights, and we are underway for my home race. The scene of much heartbreak a season or two ago, where we lost the championship level on points with an engine failure. Let's hope we can keep the championship alive and not have more heartbreak here today. We need a victory today, and we're going to go full send in order to get it up the inside of our championship rivals teammate, and that's one more for the constructors. Meanwhile, P2 and P3 are fighting away hammer and tong. The last thing that I needed, which allows Max Verstappen to run away with P1 while we get held up behind this gaggle of cars. So life is just absolutely falling into place for Max Verstappen in this season of career mode. It's quite the contrast from last season, where we won the Drivers' Championship by overturning a 100-point deficit to still win by over 20 points or something like that as we try and defend from Ocon. Yeah, unbelievable through that very high-speed 10 and 11 chicane. Here's qualifying, the one-shot quali lap. Look at how much I'm leading by. That's like 2 or 3 tenths compared to P2. So I'm on target for pole position, and then this corner comes up. That was a really good run for me, and we exit it, and we're losing by a tenth or two. So that's just unbelievable how much grip and unfair aero or performance they have at those kind of corners, which now coming back to this game, makes me realize that maybe it's not so enjoyable after all. I was fine prior to this little break that I had. These were little annoyances, to be sure, but oh, nice floor damage, and that is game over. Yeah, that's game over. We're not winning this race now. We're not winning this championship. Ocon is out. VSC has been deployed, but I think that might be game over for this championship. I was pushing very hard to try and make up the deficit. Being so slow at that corner, we cut a little bit, floor damage, and yeah, that's GG. VSC ends, and I did get a pit stop in to at least minimize the damage, to hopefully rejoin in a good position, but we did lose a lot of time with the spin anyway, and we have that damaged car to now contend with. We're catching up to the next group of cars nicely, but it's the front group of cars who we're trying to make the inroads on, and even with the VSC half-time lost pit stop, we're still just about battling the guys on the edge of the top 10. So this is Pierre Gasly, who's rejoined just ahead of us. Lewis Hamilton, I think, is just up the road. So yeah, we're fighting the guys in P8, 9, 10-ish. We're not challenging Max Verstappen, who is leading this race. And yeah, it's just not going well. It's just not falling our way, unfortunately, as George Russell gets in the way, holds up Gasly, holds up myself. Hamilton is allowed to get away a little bit more. But, you know, it's not only the floor damage that's holding us up in this race.
Brilliant.
Again, we've made potentially an error in the setup again. I tried to be a bit more aggressive with the rear anti-roll bar, and I upped it from like 1.4 to like 1.7. And it's made it a bit too unstable. And that was evident even on the last set of tyres before we even made the mistake. But we're making places now. Daniel Ricciardo, the only driver in the field to use hard compound tyres in this race, and is actually falling backwards in this Grand Prix. So this just sums up this season of career mode. Just kind of doomed to fail. And, well, there we go. That's the result of the aggressive setup and the floor damage. It is well and truly game over now. You can't say I didn't try. GG.
Oh my lord! Oh my yes! Yes! Oh my god! Woo! Yes! Oh my god! Max Verstappen, you are the world champion! The world champion!
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team.
So there we go, guys. That is the Drivers' Championship, well and truly in the mud. Verstappen getting redemption for Season 3, where he bottled a 100-point championship lead. And, well, he does the opposite to me. I think it might be, well, the other way around. We might be 100 points shy of him now, and it all stems from just a couple simulated races and then one or two strategy setup errors, and that's it. A couple minor differences, and the championship can blow out very, very quickly in this game. We simulate the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and again, the car's just not even there. Best car on paper, and Ricciardo is getting P6. Time for the final race now. Let's see if we can go out with a bang.
So here we are, ready to go racing for one final time this year. Another season of victories, controversies and rivalries lies in our wake. And just one challenge remains here in the United Arab Emirates on a circuit that made its spectacular debut back in 2009.
Okay, let's finish the season with a strong effort.
And do that we shall. We will do this for F1 2021. A game I've enjoyed. But for whatever reason, a game which I haven't been able to play as much as I would have liked. So let's see if we can end this one with a bang. Unfortunately, the Constructors' Championship is also not up for grabs. So we are 100% playing for pride in this last one. No weird setups. We're loading a normal setup, a normal aggressive setup. It is 10-10 wings, which is, well, a little higher than what I'd like it to be. But otherwise, we're not straying from the setups that we know can work very well. So it's just down to us and how OP the AI woke up this morning. We'll have to wait and see as we not get caught up on the driver behind us. That was actually the curb. As we get a replay, we kind of just get dug in there. So that was really weird. The game isn't working properly at this end of the career mode. So many upgrades. I just don't think it gets tested properly, which hopefully won't be so bad with F1 22. These are the fastest Formula 1 cars ever, and made even more so by all the upgrades. So they're like 4 or 5 seconds faster than the fastest Formula 1 cars of all time. So it's no wonder the tyres can't really cope with these kind of loads, and why the game kind of breaks a little bit with how OP the AI are. So I'm hoping that people at Codemasters have seen some of the career modes, the ones that you get deeper into. I know a lot of people don't actually get this far into career mode, so not many people report on it. So by making these videos and addressing it, not sweeping it under the carpet, hopefully it can be addressed in the new game. And hopefully maybe it's not even an issue because the cars are naturally slower. We'll have to wait and see. But anyway, P12 at the moment. We made up some ground initially at the start of the race, but as always, our arch nemesis, the temperatures of the tyres are our undoing, basically. We've been unable to really make any inroads on the next group of cars. We've literally had the same pace, and I don't want to lower the difficulty just for the sake of entertainment, just to make it more fun or more exciting. I like to have realistic career modes and just let whatever happens play out. No flashbacks, no restarts. If I crash out, then obviously you guys see it like you've seen in this video and previous videos this season. So yeah, it is what it is, and what it is right now is a bit of a stalemate. But onto the medium tyres we go, and hopefully we can unlock a bit of pace in the second half of this Grand Prix, where the tyres should be a little bit more resistant to temperatures, that being on a harder compounded tyre. So we're doing all right at this stage. Purple to the middle sector. We're at least showing some pace now, which is good to see. My teammate not really making any inroads either. It's just a massive DRS train, to be honest. Much like F1 esports, everyone's so closely matched on pace. Maybe even too closely matched on pace, as it's very, very tricky to do actually anything. As you can see, Armstrong, or his car at least, shape-shifting into a McLaren, or shape-shifting color, or is it a reflection? I'm not too sure. That did catch my eye a couple of times over the course of this race. There was nothing else really to focus on, apart from the rear end of this Infinity Alpha Tauri. I'm sick of the sight of this guy. Let's put him behind us if we can. Meanwhile, this lap, I got a report from my engineer that unfortunately Ricardo's got an issue. So the bad luck for this team just continues. Ricardo's had a stinker. The entirety of this video, ever since or after Singapore, it's just been all downhill for our team. Not only on my side of the garage, but his side as well. We've absolutely thrown away this Constructors, but also Drivers' Championship. Red Bull have been supremely quick. We've just been lacking pace. That's it. That's the crux of our woes. Just no pace in this car. We've been unable to extract it, and we've not really had the luck either to go along with it. But we're going to finish strongly. We're going to see if we can get Hamilton while he's battling to get ahead of my teammate, and I'm pretty confident I can get past Ricardo. I just need to get Hamilton out of the way first as we head on to the last lap of the last race of this last championship on this game. Let's see if we can finish ahead of our teammates and end on a high. It's not really going to be a high P8, is it? But we're going to try and have an entertaining end if we can. 3 wide heading into the hairpin for this last time as we go around the outside of both those guys. We might get DRS as well as Ricardo follows us through. It's Marduk Motorsport P8 and P9. Let's just pretend it's for a 1-2 if we can. As you can see, Gasly shaping up a move on Hamilton. I'm trying to protect my teammate and give him slipstream. He doesn't want any of it as he dive bombs into the chicane between the straights, and Ricciardo gets the place back. Problem or not, he is not giving up in this race. Maybe his problem is he's got no brakes as he goes up the inside. That's the bravest move I've seen from an AI all game, and it finally comes on the last day of school. Where are these dive bombs from? We needed these dive bombs from day one. We genuinely, if the AI can dive bomb like that all the time, we're going to have ourselves a great career mode experience. But Ricciardo just about hanging on to a top 10, and points finish now. Max Verstappen coming around the last corner to put a full stop on the end of what is a very dominant display in Season 4 of career mode. For us, it's not going to be a very memorable one, but it's P8. We fought very, very hard until the end.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
And there we go, guys. That is the end of F1 2021 career mode. I apologize it couldn't end in the way that I wanted it to. I wanted to end with a Drivers' Championship, trying to put up a challenge to Max Verstappen, but more importantly, get that elusive Constructors' Championship, which we haven't been able to do on this game. F's in chat. But hey, at least we've already won the Constructors on F1 22, hey? Maybe I can just skip F1 22 and just keep playing F1 2021 for another year. That would be quite the move. Anyway, it's P4 in the driver's standings. P7 for Daniel Ricciardo. Yeah, it could have been so much more if luck was perhaps on our side, if we could race a little bit better, if we could just be a little bit more consistent and really put this car where it deserved to be. P3 in the end in the Constructors, topped by Ferrari and Red Bull in those dying few races. But there we go, guys. That is it for F1 2021 career mode. Hopefully you enjoyed. Leave a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more racing game content. Like I said, F1 22 is just around the corner, and I'm pretty much recording the first episode of the new game today. So let me know what you want to see with the new game, what color scheme you want to see, what teammate you want me to drive with. Speaking of teammate, for this imaginary 5th season, we're going to sign Max Verstappen, and we're going to drag him away from Red Bull and theoretically see if he can win in our car. That was probably the next move I was going to do if there was another season of this career mode. And just do absolutely everything I can to win the Constructors. So Max Verstappen is a Marduk Motorsport driver indefinitely for the rest of this F1 2021 universe. But that is the end of this game. Thank you guys so much for watching. F1 2021, it's been a hell of a ride. It's been very entertaining. It's been dramatic. It's been enjoyable. There have been a lot of speed bumps along the way. There's been a lot of glitches, particularly in the career mode realm. But hopefully this is the last of long-running issues in career modes. We can only hope. But yeah, thank you guys so much for this series, for sticking with me. I know it hasn't been the most consistent series in the world, but I'll endeavor to do better on the new game. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on F1 22.